This is y'all's opportunity to connect with her, okay? This is not an interview. I'm not going to hijack it. We just going to sit up here and ask you questions. This is where y'all ask the questions you want, and hopefully you get the answers that you're looking for, and possibly an act, if that's on the menu back there. So, they were alive, right?
Are people napping?
They all. Yeah. Apparently, my big foot store wasn't as entertaining as I thought it was.
Is it an adult or a child? Okay. Okay.
Maybe strong.
So, this doesn't work without y'all participating and asking questions. Brandon back there has a light. He'll bring it to you. Please wait for the light to ask you questions. Okay. We already have it out. Are you ready to do it?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Well, let's do it off. Ask the first question, brother.
It was kind of long, but I was 1988, and was at a hotel, we're on vacation, missing pizza. Loved it.
Well, your story started 1988 at a hotel. I did not know where you were going.
Family vacation. We're waiting to go to the Six Flags or something, and it was on, I was watching it. Then in 1992, in a Chicago record store, the Smashing Pumpkins. Gish. There's something about her last name.
I know.
It's beautiful. So I bought it. And Smashing Pumpkins fan ever since. Then I read about the store. They named it after Lillian Gish. And I read about you had written a letter to her. And she told you don't get into business. So I was wondering where your take was on that. And was she right about certain things or?
That was a good question.
It was a great question, underlined by the store. That we have to give a mic to as well. It's a good sound effect. Hey there, good morning. That's a great question. What's your name?
Tony.
Tony, thank you. Yeah, you know, when I was 12 or 13, I started doing theater in Iowa.
Oh.
Grew up in Iowa, and I wrote to Lillian Gish, who was my grandmother's name was Lillian Gish by marriage, but not the son,
Right.
so I was all star. And yes, I still have it framed as a typewritten, very dainty, delicate letter that says, "Stay as far away from film and TV as you possibly can. Stay where people love you. There's too much work. There's too much talent and not enough work." And I think everything she said is true. I know I probably should have listened to her, but something, you know, for anyone who has a dream or, you know, something, you just have a passion and you just want to pursue it, I wanted to, and I did. And yeah, so that's all true. And that was before I got my first film, Desert Bloom. And then Mystic Pizza was then later.
Yeah.
When I was 16.
Oh.
I know Devin brought the first time ever at a convention, someone has brought a DVD cover for Desert Bloom. Has anyone seen Desert Bloom? Yes. A few, 2 people maybe. Yeah, it's I highly recommend it. It's early independent film about the first atomic bomb.
Oh.
Yeah, John Williams, Ellen Barkin, and myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm tasting myself that right now.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
You, Shaquille O'Neal, Judd Nelson, Steele, how was that?
Steele. Let's talk about Shaquille O'Neal and the so not successful Marvel, DC, I don't even know which one it was, but it's a movie called Steele.
DC.
Okay, there you go. My sons would be ashamed that I don't know that. But it was a blast. You know, I mean, it was kind of convoluted. I played a paraplegic and had like a chair that could kill people with lasers and stuff. And Shag was charming and lovely, and it was a blast. I think it made $800 in the box office. It did not do well, but it was fun. I had fun.
There's an action figure.
There is an action figure.
You know that Shag has gummies up his face?
Gummies? What kind of gummies?
No.
That kind of gummies. Okay, good. Of his steel face?
No, just his face.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen Shag? Or have you seen Steel?
Yeah, that's not what it came out.
Oh, you don't sound very impressed.
The guy directed it. He's behind the Incredible Hulk. I was hoping.
Kenny Johnson, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And I like his direction of the Hulk at that time.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it didn't happen, so it was.
Listen, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'd like to try again though with a big comic book movie. That would be fun. I bet Mitch was more entertaining, right? He loves to do these panels. He's good at it.
Do you have a project or any projects that you were close to getting or really wanted that didn't turn out for some reason?
No, I've gotten every single thing I've ever done. I mean, there are so many, so many. You know, I don't know what the ratio is actually of, you know, how many, if you're an actor, a working actor, many stories of things you pursue and audition and hope for, and then, you know, down to the last few, you're in the conversation. But yes, there have been some devastating rejections, but I really do believe that, you know, it's so silly to say, but what's for you will find you. We've already accepted that as a slogan of mine. And I think resilience and endurance is a really important, kind of undervalued thing in Hollywood these days too. Just to stay the course, you know, and last. It's kind of it's a skill, it's a talent. Lasting.
Hi, Annabeth. Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
So I'm one of 4 co-hosts on a podcast, and when we finish our interviews with special guests, we like to do the lip questions.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to ask you the first 3.
Okay.
What's your favorite word?
Abide.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
I said no, but I didn't. No, because I think no is an important word.
Least favorite word.
Failure.
Oh.
What is your favorite curse word?
Okay, here's Courtney.
Yeah, we called it Punk.
We call it no.
Okay, I'm gonna do, what is something you have wanted to do for a long time, but you haven't done yet?
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Dita.
Oh, Dita. What is something I've wanted to do for a long time and haven't done yet? I have decided that I'd like to learn how to fly. I am like a pilot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to fly like. I've gone skydiving. I've already done that. I don't need to do that again. And I for some reason, just recently, I thought that would be a cool thing to learn how to do, particularly a helicopter. I think that would be cool. Cool skill to have in your back pocket. I like it. Thank you. Thanks, Dita.
Another one from Dita.
Okay.
What fictional place would you like to visit?
Atlantis. unless it's not fictional, right? And we could probably, or we could go, I mean, I would love to go there, but also Narnia. I love a lot of the, and I've been thinking about this a lot too, because I think books, especially when I was a young child, like the being able to disappear into this whole other world, there's something that I just love about doing that in the book. Yeah.
Atlantis is definitely real.
Do you think it's real? Does everybody think it's real?
I think it existed at one time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think it probably exists too.
yeah,
And maybe it'll come again.
because the Mediterranean was a valley at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah.
It filled in.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Hi,
Hi.
anyway, I'm a big fan. I've followed your career for a long time. I have a funny question. I love the movie Shag.
Yeah. It's the most fun.
I wanted to ask, did you already know how to dance before you took the role or the lessons? Because you were amazing in that.
Oh, thank you. First of all, no, I did not know how to shag. I did not the British version, the American version at the time. I was 16, or 15, was I 15? So I had to learn how to shag. And at the time I was, I'm still learning. There are lots of jokes in that. The title of this panel, right? Are we going to ever address that?
I've done a lot.
Shoot,
I had nothing to do with this, by the way. None of my people.
She's done a lot.
That's all geek.
Done a lot of what? But yes, a lot.
Debbie does fill in the blank.
Right. Anyway, I did not know how to shag when I was 15, and I had to learn how to shag, and was filming Hiding Out at the time in Wilmington, drove to Myrtle Beach to learn how to shag as I was auditioning for Shag. And if anybody doesn't know, shagging is also,
Yeah.
okay, does everybody know?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all adults here. I just wanted to say fuck one more time.
Shag, man.
Anyway, no, Kenny Ortega was the choreographer for Shag, which he then was also the choreographer for Dirty Dancing. And my gosh, we had to really work hard. That's a hard dance because it's so, like, it's mostly lower body. It's a couples partner dance. You have to learn rhythm and all that together. It was in the routine. Scott Coffey and I spent a lot of time for that final routine. And anytime I hear Stagger Lee, it comes back to my feet naturally. Still there, but thank you. Although my husband had not seen Shag, and during COVID it was on TCM, Turner Classics, and so we watched it, and I don't know if it could be, it opens with the Confederate flag all over, it's so little, I don't think it could be made. A lot of my movies from the 80s couldn't be, Missing Pizza could never, or Hiding Out even. My characters had sex with older men.
Yeah.
Well, not in Hiding Out, but Missing Pizza.
Yes.
I guess that's it.
Shagging still comes naturally.
Shagging comes very naturally.
In all forms.
Yes.
You just recently lost a mentor, and the world lost an amazing actress, Jenna Rollins.
Yes.
He was her installment prize.
Yes.
Did she leave you with words of wisdom?
Just being next to her for 8 weeks in New Orleans in 1990. I was on a set, and she made such an impact on me in terms of her class and her work ethic and the way she would break down the script. I remember she was rewriting some scenes, so I got to study her as she perfected and made things clearer. She always had her red lipstick on. She was just this essence of Hollywood and just one of the most incredible actresses I've ever worked with. And what an honor to have worked with her. And I met her mom, Lady, as well. I mean, it was just this masterclass in 8 weeks that affected me my entire. I hope I always maintain that level of class and dignity, which is laughable because I don't, clearly.
When you're reading the script, what speaks to you? What stands out to you? What do you look for?
Well, these days, I mean, certainly, I have 2 children. They're teenagers, so they're not really children anymore. But it always had to be worth me taking the time to be away from them. As I've gotten older too, and time is a limited quantity, I just wanted it to mean something. You know, I wanted to have meaning in either laughter. You know, I think I'm really looking for some more laughter these days. I've done recently a lot of horror, which has been great, and I think does exorcise a lot of feeling out, especially Mike Flanagan and Stephen King's projects that I've been lucky enough to be a part of. But now I'm definitely in the mood for some light-hearted laughter. You know, I think we all could use a little bit more of that, not taking ourselves so seriously, but at the same time, dramatic stories are kind of where I find my heart.
Midnight Mass was fire.
Midnight Mass, yes, right? I mean, Mike has this ability to do these crazy, horrific things and then ingest them with deep humanity and realness. And so you can have like these crazy vampires, but you can also have the most authentic kind of conversations and human stakes, you know?
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I watched like a show like that where I was like, oh, I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah.
I love Midnight Mass.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Hey, but since I know people think you're related to Lillian Gish,
Yep.
but do you study anything or read anything about the silent film era? And if you do, like, what is the most interesting about it?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, on our bookshelf at home, I have a book by Lillian Gish called D.W. Griffith and I, the movie, silent films and D.W. Griffith and I. No, I think there's always a massive amount of information and education to come from what's come before, especially in silent film. I think when they didn't have words, and even I'm a huge student of film. On the way out here, I was watching The Conformist, which is Bertolucci and Serraro, because I'm always, not to be like name dropping or whatever, but I'm always trying to educate myself on film, you know? Because I think it's still my favorite genre.
Yeah, because the reason why I was asking, because Louisiana had a big connection with silent film. Tarzan was filmed here. Mary Miles Minter, who was related to was a suspect in the murder of William Desmond Taylor.
Oh.
Yeah, they have her aunt who she stole the name from, is buried in my hometown, so you can see her grave.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, so I was just wondering. I always try to ask celebrities that.
If we know what like important historical films have been made here.
Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
yeah, well, I mean, because I would love Louisiana to become the Hollywood of the South again. You know, we were for a brief period.
Yeah.
There's a particular governor you can blame.
Yes,
I'm not going to say his name,
but I would love it. So anytime celebrities come here, I always like, hey, you know Louisiana.
I shot a couple years ago. Well, first of all, I shot Mayfair Witches in New Orleans, and then I shot a movie that has not come out. Probably won't ever. But we shot it on Grand Isle.
Yeah.
And that's been obliterated, right? The island itself because of a hurricane or no? It's still there?
I thought so. I thought it was. I forget which hurricane it was.
There was
Grand Isle.
Double Jeopardy. We filmed in Vancouver, but they did come to New Orleans or something. I think, and maybe Shreveport too. But I wasn't there for that part. But Grand Isle was amazing. It was what a beautiful place.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What was it like reprising your role as Dr. Sullivan after so many years? Dr. Sullivan psychic.
I think Dr. Sullivan in a show called Pretty Little Liars. That was the original Pretty Little Liars. Wendy over there thought I was a psychic, not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Yeah. I loved it. I loved returning to the reboot, which is on Max. It's a different cast and a different collective of writers, but it's very campy, rompy, stylized horror. But I loved it. I loved being that sort of calming figure with the girls. Yeah, it suits me.
So you spoke about Narnia earlier. So when you were growing up, what books attracted you to books you wanted to read, and then now as an adult, what you just said you love films. So what films or what books attract you now? Do you like documentaries? Do you like to watch? Are you more into fiction? How do you relax?
Okay, well, that's a different question. How about relax? I am very eclectic. I've always, even as a child, I've loved I've just been, I'm not the girl to pick your favorite color, right? Because I have so many. But I definitely like fiction more than I do biographies. Although, I think I was just watching Elizabeth Taylor tapes of hers on HBO. I'm watching Industry right now on Max as well, which is not so, you shouldn't watch it for your sake just because it's very stressful. Finance. But then I love to escape into funny humor as well. Oh my God, as a kid I loved all kinds of Secret Garden, but then I loved Trixie Belden. Remember Trixie Belden? Like the Adventures of Trixie Belden? Yeah. What do you like to read?
I like to read Jim Butcher.
Jim Butcher? Wait, now.
Dresden Files.
Okay. Because there's Butcher and the Boys.
Yeah.
Have you seen, but that's not really good.
No.
Okay, I have not read the Dresden Files.
Oh no, it's amazing.
Okay, I'll go get that.
Yeah, and when you were talking about when they asked the question, the world you like to escape to,
Yes.
immediately the Never Never from the Dresden Files popped into mind.
Okay, awesome.
Where there's like the summer court, the winter court of the Fae,
Yes.
the winter queen. And
Yes. Oh, great. I'm gonna go find that book.
Quick synopsis: he is a wizard of the White Court,
Okay.
the highest level of wizard, but he's in the phone book as a private detective. So you can hire him in Chicago to go, if your husband's cheating on you, you can get him to go and try to figure it out, but he also fights demons and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, that sounds
They had a
good.
show on the Sci-Fi Channel, but the show sucks.
Okay.
Books are
Sometimes that happens, yeah. I know I was a big Anne Rice fan from Maker, which is when I read the book, and so I had to be a part of that show.
She was in the phone book for a long time under Stan Rice.
Was she?
Yeah, I went to college down there. I used to be able to actually go see her, like knock on her door.
Wow.
And the big mistake was her picture appeared in the Times-Picayune.
Yes.
And after that, people knew what she'd look like. So she wasn't quite as
anonymous.
Yeah, well, I was an a-hole college kid. I'd impose on her, but she took a picture with us.
It's funny. I have more admiration and excitement about meeting authors than I do about some celebrities. Because I revere the written word so much.
Yeah, she was nice to us even though we were dumb kids. She was still nice to us.
Well, that's good.
Hi. So we know this panel's called Annabeth Gish. She's done a lot. So you've worked with a lot of people like Julia Roberts, Angelina Jolie. Is there any actress you still?
Sorry, who?
Are there any actresses that are kind of, I don't want to say on your bucket list, but you really like to?
Oh my God, yes. Helen Mirren, I would love.
Wow.
Helen Mirren, Judi Dench,
Wow.
Tilda Swinton. You know, there are so many, Annette Bening, Jodie Foster, you know, there are so many women, especially in their 60s now, who are just killing it and on fire in terms of their talent. And I think there's a lot of Kate Winslet, you know, I will watch anything she's in.
What about Phoebe Cates?
Phoebe Cates?
Yeah.
Well, I did Shag with her.
Yeah. That's how I found out, because when you mentioned that movie, I was like, whoa, wow.
Is she acting anymore? I don't think she
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah, she's retired. She's still married to Kevin Kline,
Yeah.
who I know is the voice on Bob's Burgers. Do you guys watch Bob's Burgers?
I don't. I know of it, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Phoebe again.
I just thought it was funny when you said TCM. Because I watched it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a professional musician, so I have to ask, currently, what is your favorite genre of music and or your favorite band out there?
Again, if you look at my Spotify playlist, it's so eclectic and all over the place. But music is definitely a big way in for me, emotionally, whether it's, I always make a playlist for my character for a show. I have to have music playing all the time. But let's see, right now, what am I listening to? I just found this band called Truesdale that I really like. They're beautiful, like a trio, I think, of 3 women. I love London Grammar. I love country. I just saw Zach Brown band, but we're also going to see Ryex. He's a big, love anything he does. But then the music for the con has been amazing, which I guess is from a local Shreveport, radio station, classic rock. So I knew every song. Steve Miller Band. What else? I love rap. I love Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
Yep. My kids are very, I have teenagers, so we have a lot of. I love 1975.
Yeah.
Name that tune. Let's go. What kind of music do you play?
Oh, all kinds, but my original project is rock and roll.
Awesome. Good. Always music. Is our friend still sleeping in the back? I don't know, probably.
Look, hey. You know how we've been scrunching up and taking a selfie?
Yeah.
We need to get her over there and let's get a selfie with him while he's sleeping.
And I'm going to say,
What if that was his one?
He has succeeded then.
okay, Sarah, I'm sorry.
So what was on Monica Reyes' list?
Ooh, Monica Reyes playlist. Well, now you might be catching me in a lie, because I don't really have, did Spotify even exist at the time? I don't think it did. I probably had a cassette tape, a mixed tape. And she definitely would have a mix of Latin flavored music and esoteric. She was always, Monica Reyes was half built on me. You know, like I think they wrote a lot of Monica for me.
See that?
Yeah.
I could sense it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, one more question, at least one more question. Make it a good one.
So you just had a vast career.
Wait,
Lisa, what podcast do you host?
oh,
Relishing the Dead.
Relishing the Dead.
Is it on YouTube?
Yes,
It's YouTube?
yes.
Is it,
Relishing the Dead.
And Spotify, YouTube,
is it Relishing the Dead, like dead people, like you see dead people?
we have a couple of drinks with us, we might. So it's 4 women who got together as friends through The Walking Dead, and we do not only Walking Dead, but we do other horror genres.
Got it.
We have Harold Perriner's coming on our podcast.
Amazing. Okay, great.
One was gonna visit with you after about, I digress. But the question I had is you do have a very expensive filmography.
Yeah.
And I know with each piece,
I've done all that.
and you can learn to Shag.
I did.
Is there a particular role that you've done that has been emotionally more difficult for you in your career?
Yeah, yes. I mean, well, first of all, I would say Brotherhood still is one of my favorite roles that I've ever done, and it was gone too soon. It was a great show on Showtime, and I loved it because she was a flawed, complicated, messy mom, imperfect, and that's fun, right? It's fun, but it's also hard because you gotta go dark places and put yourself out there in brave new ways, which that's really the goal of the artist. So I love that. But truly, speaking of the dead, like the last couple of things I've done, I've had to be in caskets, and I don't want to do that anymore. I really it started psychically to weigh on me. My energy was just depressed by dying and playing a ghost. I mean, I love the idea of it, but as an actor, it does, yeah, I think so. When you have to play someone haunted, then it's hard to get rid of that. So no more coffins for me. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, no, don't stand up and go to clap again. Let's sneak back here and get this picture. All right, and then we can make a whole bunch of noise.
Like,
So you want to hear?
we have to go to the end on it.